Hey all, week 8 reaction, chapters 6 and 7. Starting with the paragraph on page 62 that begins by saying, in the 1990s, teachers, blah, 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 students, blah, 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 accurately describes my experience in math classrooms growing up as a student. It says, good questions also force students to articulate their thinking so that it is understandable to another human being. Very true. That's a funny way to say that. This chart on page 63 of the different types of questions to ask is really great. I can envision printing this out and taping it to my desk as a reminder. Whoa. Okay. It took me a second to understand how Tanya and Charlene cut and moved the right triangle. I think it's pretty cool and novel. I was thinking at first that she duplicated it, rotated, and flipped the original one, but then I remembered that they have scissors. And now James is cutting the top half of the triangle in a different way. Nice. My first thoughts after reading the teacher vignette with Regina Quigley was that her questions were very natural. The classroom conversation had good flow and lots of cool demonstrations of equivalence. I like this list and description of all the benefits of asking a student to restate someone else's thinking, which we've found to be really useful in class. It emphasizes that their contribution is useful and worth emphasizing, signals to the author of the idea that their ideas are being taken seriously, and puts the rest of the class on notice that they have to pay attention because they could be called on to restate another student's contribution. First reaction to the problem with Daniel and the devil is it's a pretty weird context. The thinking through a lesson protocol for lesson planning. I think some of these ideas, concerns, things to think about when planning a lesson are similar to questions that my group was wrestling with last week as we planned our lesson together. What assistance will you give, or questions will you ask when students get stuck? And in our case, we were grappling with what will we do if the task is too easy and students finish almost immediately. How can you extend the task for an additional challenge? I really like the lesson plan template at the end. It's similar in a lot of ways to our instructional routine planners.